These sunsets almost never look as good as they do in real life. So these panels now have plumbing holes. There's my toilet. And down in there is going to be the drain for washer and dryer and the supply line for water coming into the house. So that'll be all cold water. We'll run a pipe over to a water heater to get the hot water. So now I think I'm gonna frame a little bit of walls here and here. Then I will start taking out these panels. Today is a different day. The high today was 59, and that was overnight last night. So it's been getting colder ever since we got up this morning. It wasn't bad early, and then now I got on a heavy shirt. It's probably in the 40s. A couple hours it's supposed to be in the 30s. And we already had a little bit of snow today. It was crazy. We have no precipitation in the forecast, and we just had this one cloud that sort of came over and snowed a little bit. You could see blue sky all the way around while this one cloud over us was snowing. It was just nice to get a little bit of snow. So the other night when I was talking about putting in a wall, I went ahead and did it, and I went ahead and cut this window out. Decided I wanted to just get some lights on in here. I decided I'm going to go ahead and put in my electrical box. And then I thought I'm going to go ahead and just put holes in all the corners. When you're doing something different, you need different tools. I keep having to run up to the barn and run up to the house and get more stuff. So I already got my box hung, got my power into the box, filled in the hole. So now I'm trying to get my grounds and my power hooked up to my box, so I'll have my main power. I can hear some sleet. We've had a little bit of snow this morning. Nothing that's sticking, just flakes that are coming down, which is just nice to look out the window and see. And now that I'm outside, I can hear it's turned to sleet. You probably can't see it, but we're gonna get a bunch of nights in the 20s. So I'm out here at the well. I'm disconnected the bathroom, over here we've got this bathroom, so we don't want any pipes to break. I think you should probably be able to see it now. It's a bunch of pellets falling down. I can see them right here. Let the water run out. It seems like it's got to get really cold. I don't think we're ever going to break the toilet bowl. I guess if I was really worried about it, I might scoop out the excess water after flushing out the tank. But so far, we've had some ice accumulated here, and it was okay. There's Midnight, our visitor that won't go home. You've overstayed your welcome. And you just keep eating up all our food. Are you, what, apologizing? We're about to have a winter storm. A lot of people have heard about it. I'm down here near the pond, and I thought I would just take a look at it, and I see that the pond is a little bit frozen. We see some ice on it. And I think that's gonna get a lot thicker the next few days. We're gonna have we could have temperatures below 10 degrees, but we are gonna have some very thick ice. I wonder if I'll be able to stand on it. I know the first thing people think when you say that is, that's dangerous. And yeah, you're right. But maybe I'll go over there in that shallow area over here and try to stand on it after it gets really good and frozen. What could be the worst? I get really cold feet. All this ice plunging stuff these days, I'm sure I can survive. But I do not plan to walk in this area where I could go over my head. I just checked the weather and it looks like we have 11 days ahead of us where we could potentially be thickening this ice. The generator's been buried behind all our storage stuff here. And we haven't been able to get to it for a few months. I usually try to check it once a month and make sure it's running so it's ready. And I worked on it a little bit and got it running today. Well, worked on it as in pulled it out of there, but it started up over here, so we're ready for the generator part of the ice storm. Hopefully it's not all ice. It was gonna start Friday night. Now it looks like it's lagging on till Saturday before it starts. And hopefully it's gonna switch back to snow. They're calling for a lot of ice now. Kind of unusual. I guess they must be putting something onto the cell phone tower that hadn't been there before, or taking something off or whatever. But the crane almost doesn't look like it's close enough to reach the cell phone tower. Maybe somebody's building a house over there and they're setting trusses. Our permanent visitor got locked in the container. Kept hearing crying and I couldn't find her anywhere. And then later I needed a tool and open the container and she comes walking out. Or he, actually. Midnight, you got stuck in the darkness. I'm standing over here at the corner of Claire's house. And yesterday I had gone down to the pond, and on the way back I found a hunting blind that's just right off our property, just like a few feet off the side. So here I am at Claire's. I don't think you can see it, but somewhere in here is the tail light of my golf cart down here in the woods. I can see it, but I don't know if it's on the video. I'm gonna carry this ladder down there. So now down here, I can't really see Claire's house, but it's just right there. And so over here, someone made a place to hunt from. That's the path going to the pond. And then here's the hunting blind. So they stacked up these sticks, kind of like you do when you're making kind of a country mountain fence. And I know that these people don't allow hunting on their property. So somebody's hunting illegally. Depending on how old these plant leaves are, they're a little bit, almost crisp, but not quite. They're definitely wilted. I don't know how long it takes them to wilt, but hunting season has been over for 3 weeks. My guess is that they built this in the past couple of weeks. So I borrowed a game camera and I'm gonna put it up on this tree right here, I think. I think that's the best one. That is definitely not on the same property. If they came and stole it off the tree, they would be trespassing. And Maybe I should hang a sign there. Finally did get a little bit of wiring done. So I got these light boxes. This one will be for the ceiling fan. And then I hung a light on the first one that I got a wire to. So I'll need to bring wires over to these two. And today I hooked up a couple of outlets. I'm gonna leave this weird one here because we're gonna have a countertop oven. And I wanna remind Claire that that's a dedicated outlet for that oven. It's not exactly dedicated because obviously it's going to that one too. But I just want her to know this is where the strong power is. I'm gonna have one dedicated wire coming to these outlets, and then I'll have more outlets on smaller wires. So this is the really powerful area. And then of course now my cord doesn't have to be going way out to the pole down there. My cord can just drape over to the light and the vacuum and whatever tools I'm using. And soon maybe I'll see if I can get some outlets over here, and then I can plug this stuff in over here, and then I'll have no cords. This cord is still going down there, but I'll be able to run most of the power off the house soon. Cindy's golf cart has been making a noise in the rear end, and we thought it was the transmission. And today she said the axle broke. But it turns out that it was just loose lug nuts. So here's a regular new wheel, which we got some new ones recently.
And this is the one
where they were loose and moving around until it just drilled out those holes. So while it was moving around, it was wearing out the bolts. But then eventually it wore out so bad that it just popped through. So the whole nut came through the hole. The good news is we got $10 worth of new studs. That's what Kayla's putting on right now.
Might not fit.
So apparently, I didn't know this, but you can just hit them with a hammer and knock them out. So we're just tightening them and pulling them back on again, the new ones.